Bakeries. European bakeries actually have a very long history. Baked goods were really popular in ancient Rome, and people used to take them to parties. They used to have feasts. It was really good. Around 300 BC or so, baker was recognized as a legitimate occupation in ancient Rome. And then in about 168 BC also, ancient Rome actually created the first Bakers Guild. Over time, that spread to other parts of Europe. After the Renaissance, you had really good bakeries in France, in Germany, in England, and baked goods became very, very popular there. And people started going. France, sometime in around the 18th century, set up the very first open-air pastry and bakery market, and people would gather there, they'd eat baked goods, and it became very popular. Nowadays, French bakeries are really well liked, but so are German bakeries, so are other European-style bakeries. And so this video, we should give you a nice view of some of the great bakeries we have here in Orange County. So the Black Market Bakery is more of a Nouveau American bakery than it is European style, but it is definitely within the ranks of some of the best bakeries in Orange County. Got here some of their flourless chocolate brownies, which I've already had a taste of. It's very rich, it's very chocolatey, really nice. We also have, and I'll put this down for a second, we also have their Black Widow tart. They're very famous. It's got like a chocolate ganache filling, and their cinnamon roll, which Young checked on Yelp, and apparently they get really great reviews for their cinnamon rolls. So let me try the Black Widow tart first. That's got like a chocolate crust and a chocolate ganache filling. Let's try it. That's rich, very sweet. Change you into diabetic coma almost, but it's really good. Very tasty, but you gotta like sweet, you gotta like really chocolatey. I happen to like both, so this is good. Cinnamon roll is soft. It has a massive sugary glaze on the top. That's a heavy vanilla glaze. The roll itself is soft, a little more cakey than bready. It's got a good cinnamon flavor, but what really hits you right up front is the vanilla from that vanilla glaze on top. It's a good cinnamon roll. I've had better, but this is still very, very good, and people do go crazy over this stuff. So this is one of the Let's Go Crazy bakeries in Orange County. Black Market Bakery. Now, Black Market isn't so much European as it is sort of a upscale American-style bakery. You might even call it foo-foo American, but what they did that was really good, I liked their ganache brownies and the Black Widow tart. Both were really rich, both were really tasty. You need coffee with them. They're just too rich to have by themselves. I think Young loved the cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon roll was very good.
Very vanilla flavored.
Yeah.
And it was good. All right, we're in the Pancletivian in Fashion Island. Now this is part of a chain. They have these all over the country now. Young and I first went to one of their restaurants or bakeries in Brussels, and we actually had a very nice set of pastries and coffee for breakfast at the one in Brussels. So we're coming here to the one in Fashion Island. This is also very well liked. They like their avocado toast and stuff that they get in California, but also their Belgian baked goods here are very good. So we're going to get some of those. We'll try them. We'll let you know what they're like. So I'm going to start out with a lemon tart. Looks like it has little pieces of preserved lemon on the top and a nice shortbread crust. Let's try just the filling first. That's nice and tart. That's really good. Let's check out the preserved lemon on top. Okay, if you've ever had preserved little lemon peel, citrus peel, that's exactly what that is. That's good. That's a nice balanced flavor, really good together. That's definitely a very nice lemon tart. The other thing I got here, this is called a pain or what we would call a raisin snail. Got a very flaky crust, like what you would expect from a croissant crust, but it's basically a raisin, I guess the translation is raisin bread, but it's not really a bread, it's more like a flaky pastry with raisins and butter. Very nice, really rich, buttery. The raisins have a sweetness and a tang to them, and the crust is flaky and buttery, and it's very tasty. I taste the crunchiness of the pearl sugar inside the waffle, which you expect in a good Belgian waffle. It's very rich. It's a little chewy. The berries give it a nice little tanginess. And of course the whipped cream. You never go wrong with whipped cream on a Belgian waffle, even if it falls all over the plate. Pancletivian, I think we both agree the lemon tart was the best thing there. It was tangy, it was rich, it was really good, and the little candied lemon peel on top was wonderful. And Young didn't love the Belgian waffle so much, but that's because they don't make it there. They ship it in little packages, and so it's kind of dry. And you know,
yes, you told me you're understandable.
Yeah.
Because it was not fresh made.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit bready, like eating like bread. Not good bread. Not like Fkn bread.
Yeah.
You know?
Now I like the pain there, which was really good, but I've had better. But it was good. I mean, you heat it up, you have it with coffee, raisins in it, really rich buttery pastry in it. It's good, but it's not the best one I've ever found. But it's good. We would say the lemon tart there was the best.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. So the title of this company has an unfortunate arrangement of letters. I've been assured that it's actually the first initials of each of the owner's 3 children. But this is called Fkn Bread. Fkn Bread is known for their sourdough above everything else. But they do make a sourdough cinnamon roll that people go nuts over, and they have a bunch of really interesting little pastries. So we're going to go in, we're going to get some of the stuff, we'll take it back to our house and we'll eat it there. So you can tell this bread has some substance to it by how difficult it was to cut. And look at this. It's got a nice set of air pockets in it. It's It's going to be chewy inside. It's going to be crunchy on the outside. You heat it up, you put a little butter on it. There's not much better than good buttered sourdough bread. And so I went ahead and I heated up this piece and I put some butter on it. And now the trick is to get my teeth through the crust because it's going to be very chewy. That is so good. The crust is crunchy and crackly. The inside is chewy. It's soft. It's got that tanginess of a good sourdough bread. And then the little bit of salt that the butter provides. It's just so good. Look at this. It's just so good. Fkn Bread.
Oh
You
my
want to
God.
say the name of it, and the censors would get us if we pronounced it rather than saying the initials. So we're just saying Fkn Bread. Their sourdough here is legendary. It's probably the best sourdough.
Yeah.
And everything they did with the sourdough, the cinnamon roll made with the sourdough is really good. The sourdough bread itself, I could have eaten that entire loaf by myself in one sitting, but I didn't. I was good. We put some of it in the freezer, and Young had some during the week.
I know.
And it's just so good. It's chewy, it's tangy. The crust on the outside is just has enough of a texture to it. It was so good, and the sourdough taste was wonderful. It's not San Francisco sourdough, but you know what?
Kind.
Yeah, but you know what? San Juan Capistrano, obviously they have decent wild yeast in the air here.
Yeah.
So that was definitely Fkn Bread. I'll go back there for the sourdough bread every time.
Yes, I don't like the crust. I only eat inside of the bread. But the Fkn Bread, for the first time, I don't want to eat inside, soft side. I want to eat only outside.
I'm going to get her a whole loaf of just crust. So we're here for Chopin Bakery, spelled in a French way, Chaupain. We're here this early because we're told they get really crowded starting at about 8 a.m. So if you want to come, you got to come early. So we came early. I dragged myself out of bed, 3 hours of sleep. Yeah, I'm going to do it because pastries, I'm all about pastries, you know. And so they supposedly have some great French pastries. We got ourselves a chocolate almond custard croissant. We got ourselves a cream cheese croissant. Young got an apple, I think that's an apple gâteau is what they call it, and a cinnamon twist. And then she just gave us an extra berry croissant so we can try all of that stuff and see how good it is. And I'm looking forward to this because I love good pastries. This is good. This is the almond custard chocolate croissant. The pastry itself, really crispy on the outside, tender and flaky on the inside. The custard is smooth. The chocolate is just right. It's not too bitter. It's not too sweet. A nice balanced chocolate. And the almonds give it a nice texture. You know, this is something I've never seen before. This is a cream cheese croissant. Okay, it's just got this dollop of the cream cheese in the top, and then the middle is just a croissant coated with powdered sugar. Their croissant's very good. Light, flaky, crispy outside, moist center, a nice croissant. Now I'm sure that cream cheese gives it a little bit of extra oomph. That's not pure cream cheese, it's like a pastry cream that's infused with cream cheese. So it's sweet, it's very light, but it's got the cream cheese tang to it. It's good, I like it. It's definitely something I'd get again. Chopin Bakery.
Chopin.
We loved the custard-filled croissants. They were rich, they were flaky, they were buttery, they were crispy on the outside, they were soft on the inside. I thought that was really good there.
That was really good.
Walking up the streets of Orange County, you come on Ellies Table at Egan House. Ellies Table was a restaurant that started in San Clemente. The San Clemente one has closed now. Their bakery has moved so that they bake everything in Santa Ana. They opened this one at Egan House in about 2010, and it's become very, very popular. It wasn't in the beginning, it was actually fairly empty, but now it's incredibly popular. We're at Ellies Table in San Juan Capistrano. Ellies Table is a bakery that also serves sandwiches and salads. It's a nice place to come for a little snack or a nice breakfast or even a nice lunch. It's kind of fun. They are one of the first bakeries in Orange County that I know that created the Queen Amman. Queen Amman you can see in other places now. It's really popular in New York. It's basically like a creme brulee inside of a croissant. One of the things Ellies Table does really well here is their croissant-based pastries. We like to come here occasionally for breakfast for that reason. We have here the Queen Amman. We have here a blueberry cream cheese filled croissant. And yes, it's not your typical croissant taste, but it's still got all the layers that a croissant normally has. Then back here is a chocolate cream cronut, which is a mixture between a croissant and a donut that were made popular in New York by, now I forget the guy's name, Dominique Ansel. Yeah, Dominique Ansel in New York, the bakery. They created the cronut, which is the combination of the croissant donut, and it's very popular there. You can almost never get it there. They sell out as soon as they bake it. Here, they have them all the time. They're really good. Then finally, probably one of my favorite things here is the ham and cheese croissant, and it's a croissant filled inside with savory ham and cheese, and they heat it up, and there's nothing like it. When my in-laws come from Korea, they love this one. They want to have this all the time when they're here. And then finally, now Ellies Table, we haven't been there for a while, but what we really like at Ellies Table is their ham and cheese croissants. And in fact, our family, when they come in from Korea and they want it, they go crazy over those croissants. The ham is rich and slightly salty, the cheese is really good, and they do really good croissants there. And the ham and cheese croissant, a savory croissant, you heat it up with breakfast, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that's the best thing they make? Yeah, I agree. Queen Annan?
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Yeah, the Queen Annan, you don't actually see a lot of those, but they're becoming much more popular in the US now. It's almost like a muffin-style croissant with a creme brulee in the middle. And it's a really tasty treat.
Yeah.